Hi, this is Kevin C. Mason from Jack Monkey Games, and you can support this show by becoming a patron. Getting a copy of Roll vs. Roll either through DriveThru RPG or the Games Crafter if you want a physical deck. Our Roll vs. Roll deck is a deck of cards that is used to improve role-playing, even with advanced players. Subscribe, click the little notification icon to let us know that you're, and share this video on Reddit, share it on Facebook, share it with all of your players, and in this episode, share it with anyone who's playing a mage. Okay, so in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to roleplay a mage. And now, we always have to start off with, what's your background? What's your motivation? So, think of this. Every type of mage out there that I've seen in various game systems and books and fantasy and movies are all a little bit different. So like Harry Potter versus Doctor Strange, completely different. Both of which are students that went to a school and became badass. But the journey is a bit different. So they think about magic in a different way. So instead of just playing a spell delivery platform like I've seen done on many a game table, think about different ways that you can add your character background into your game to make it more interesting. So think about this. Are you a noble who's always been involved in magic? In fact, you have to because it's a family thing. Maybe you're not too thrilled about being a student of magic. Maybe you want to be a fighter, but not so great. Maybe you're a accidental mage. Maybe you came across your powers completely by mistake. Maybe you have studied really hard. Think about different ways that you can make this pull into your character. Okay, here's something else to think about. So as a mage, you're going to be thinking differently. So what I want you to do is think about this. In a world of wizardry, where you're spending most of your time in books, you're an academic. You're like a college professor. So think about this. Your character probably is going to have interests beyond just casting spells. Maybe it's mold. Maybe you like geology. Maybe you enjoy biology. Maybe it's chemistry. But talk with your GM about having a hobby, an academic hobby. Maybe it's collecting strange old languages. It won't affect your character much, but it will really add to the character backstory. Okay, so we're going to talk about the mage don'ts. Number 1, don't be going through the book continuously looking up your spells. Write them down. If you use Fireball a lot, write down the stats. If you use Magic Fingers a lot, write it down. In fact, I highly recommend taking a look at our previous video where we showed you how to make a cool looking spell book and write them down. Now, I'm saying that because while you're looking through the spells, and as a mage, you could be doing that all freaking day, it's often in the core books, okay? It's in the core books, which the GM needs. So now, you're not just looking up the spells, you're being a disruption. So, you're probably half paying attention, and you're probably trying to figure out what page that number that was on. Was it a first level spell? Was it a 5th level spell? Download our free PDF on how to make a cool looking spell book. Change it up, make it yours, and put down all the information you need to know on those spells before you even start playing. The other thing not to do is don't be boring. You're a wizard. You're a little quirky. You're a little odd. There's something different about how you think. And find different ways of doing that. Maybe you like raw eggs. Maybe it's that you're going to stop to take a look at moss and mold on various trees. Maybe it's the fact that you collect strange snow globes. Or maybe it's something like you have to spend so many hours meditating. Maybe that it is something that, you have to eat your food counterclockwise. Something slightly odd that's not exactly normal that your character must do. It's simple, it adds to your character, and the only thing you have to explain to someone, oh, it's a magical thing. But you bring it up often. Okay. So you don't want to be one of those walking platforms. You don't want to sit around and just dish out as much damage as you possibly can. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but you want to have a character. So here's a few things that you can do to add to that character. Showmanship. When you go casting a spell, just don't, I cast Magic Missile. Do this.
So I can feel this really big one coming on, and I reckon it's going to be a massive fireball, burning energy, and just feeling that power, and I just feel it searing in my hands. I'm just poised, ready to aim it at that guy. You better be ready. Bang!
So here's something to ponder. Most of the descriptions of the spells, as long as it doesn't affect the mechanics, the visual of the spell is completely up to the player, but no one ever does anything about it. So here's something to ponder. When you cast Fireball, does it look like a wolf coming from your hands? When you are casting Lightning Bolt, does it come from the sky? Does it come from the ground? Does it wrap around your body 3 times before launching? If you are healing someone, is it a bit of your life force entering theirs? Is it a faint glow that covers their body? Is it something, a little bit more traumatic? Maybe their body starts to convulse. Special effects really don't change things from a mechanical standpoint. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying that your fireball is nothing but a whole bunch of puppies running at the enemy, and then they all catch on fire. Okay, maybe not puppies. That just sounds wrong. But you get the idea. There's no difference in the special effects. When you go to cast a spell, say it in Latin. Say fuego for flames. I think it was fuego? Dresden files? Look it up. Talk about how the speed spell, maybe you say it in Japanese. Look up all your spells on Google in a different language. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some basic Shadowrun spells. I'm going to go through some basic D&D spells, and I'm going to translate them to Latin for you. Make a really cool handout, a spell book for your mage. Now, where this comes in handy is that if your mages are anything like mine, they're always checking their spells, and it drives me nuts because some of the spells are in the core rulebook, and I'm like, I need that. As a GM, I need that. Well, with this, what you could do is that you can print out the spells in a really cool looking book, so they have one place to go for all of it. right direction. There we go.